Hello, my name is Rachel Filson from Soul Foreign High School, and I will be analyzing the poem Stealing by Carol Ann Duffy. In the poem, the speaker is telling the audience about their stealing habits and how enjoyable stealing is. The speaker is a psychopathic patient who is also a thief, while the audience is supposed to be a psychologist. At the beginning of the poem, the speaker mentions the strangest thing that they had ever stolen, and that happens to be a snowman. They continue on talking about how they have stolen other things as well, and how enjoyable the adrenaline rush is. Next, the speaker mentions how they decided to destroy the snowman. We can understand later that they were unable to control themselves and is acting on how overwhelmed they have become. There is a sense of determination, but also a sense of failure with this part of the poem, and this causes the speaker to continue their pessimistic viewpoint because they have a feeling where they've lost hope and they have only thought worse of themselves, not the better of themselves. Lastly, the speaker is bored and is also trying to occupy their time. By the end of the poem, we learn that the speaker feels alienated from the rest of the world. The purpose of the poem is to highlight the mindset of loneliness and the feeling of a lack of purpose. He has obviously experienced hardships in his life, and that is what is basically noted throughout the poem, and that's what we are basically analyzing. At the end of each stanza, Duffy uses enjambment. Additionally, the language Duffy uses for the speaker is very violent and destructive. First, I will organize the poem by analyzing Duffy's stealing in chronological order by each stanza. In the beginning stanza of the poem, the speaker answers a question in the first line. The most unusual thing I ever stole? A snowman. From this, it is suggesting that someone is questioning him, and by using enjambment while describing the snowman, it becomes visible that there is an emphasis on the sounding of the M. The thief clarifies why they had this appeal and this need to steal a snowman. By using terms such as cold and ice in the fourth line, it is also characterizing the speaker as being a person who tends to lack showing their emotions or feelings. Maybe they haven't even really known that they're experiencing these emotions. In the second stanza, the thief mentions an extreme measure by stating that they would rather die than not captivating the opportunity to take something they really want in the sixth and seventh line. By using the term hugging in the eighth line, there's an emphasis on possibly them wanting an attachment. They're trying to they have a desire to have relationships with people. With that term hugging, the speaker says, "Hug to my chest, a fierce chill." They're holding on to it very tight because they have this attachment. In the ninth line, it says, "Part of the thrill was knowing." There's amusement, it's entertaining, it's exciting. There's that idea of enjoying the pain of others, and this possibly also meaning that it could be morbid. In the 10th line, there's a metaphor for the children children would cry in the morning. Life's tough. It's the feeling of loneliness and cold. Too bad, explaining that life isn't necessarily fair and that their own life is tough as well. He's being bitter. He steals because it gives him joy and pleasure. And this could also be associated to reflecting back on his own memories. And that's one of the big things with this poem, is that it's reflecting, it's remembering all of the things that has happened in his past and how it's affecting his future. it goes back to being a memory. In the third stanza, it says that sometimes I steal things that I don't need. It's basically saying that they're stealing for the thrill. It's basically unnecessary, and that it's not there's no real reason behind it, is what they're saying. I enjoy car rides. Which is also in the 11th line. That's the use of juxtaposition. It's position nowhere. To nowhere, break into the I joyride cars to nowhere, break into the houses just to have a look. This is in the 12th line, and it's also yet again saying how pointless it is. It's showing how messy and how lonely they are, and how there's no exact stealing involved with this specific sentence. In the 13th line, there's an idea of messiness. They didn't necessarily plan out exactly what they wanted to do. It was just an act on the moment type of thing. And that he's being destructive, and it's basically a cry for help, asking for love and empathy and wanting some attention. By saying in the 14th line, I watched my gloved hand twisting the doorknob, there's an idea of it's planned, it's prepared. He doesn't want to leave evidence that could also still be about getting attention. A stranger's bedroom, mirrors, I sigh like this. Ah. In the 15th line, it's showing that the speaker is intelligent and they're attached from the action. Maybe possibly suggesting that the speaker is bipolar. In the 4th stanza, it's the idea of, or it returns to the occasion of stealing the snowman, and how he decided to kick and break it, showing vandalism and showing more destructiveness. The thief realizes that this was a senseless thing to do. It was pointless. They were basically just acting on emotion, and there was no real reason behind it. The 5th stanza is also talking about how he's bored and how he doesn't have anything to do with all of his free time. He's waiting for something to do.